Welcome to the Sports Block. My name is Will Gittes alongside Tyler Scholler here in Mustang Stadium for your Middle Creek Mustangs to take on the Fuquay-Varina Bengals. As you can see, they are just coming out of their traditional smoke tunnel as they do every game. This is a huge game on our hands, of course, a repeat of the end of the regular season. Fuquay and Middle Creek, it's just a repeat game, and it's going to be a good one. Tyler, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Last week, the Mustangs had a 28-14 victory over their rival Fuquay-Varina. The game was really one-sided throughout most of the game. One of the most plays that stands out was a 4th and 59 for Fuquay from Middle Creek's 41, and they ended up doing a fake punt on 4th down and ended up scoring. So that was a big play, but it did not have any bearing over the outcome of the game. The Mustangs did very well on the passing game. I believe Brant Gristle had over 180 yards passing, and Fuquay only had 2 passing yards. So their running game was a big part of their game, running 38 times for a total of 352 yards. So we look for tonight to be just the same as last week, with the run game being a major part of their game.
Oh, definitely, and they're gonna have to develop that pass game if they want to beat these Mustangs. And I don't know about you, but it seems like they use a little bit more smoke tonight than usual.
Yeah,
it is obscuring everyone's vision, I think. But anyway, we're gonna take a look at the different scenarios, the matchups we have in our bracket on the road to the state championship. Our first matchup, we have Green Hope taking on Wakefield. Wakefield's the number 1 seed. Green Hope's the number 16 seed. I think most people are expecting Wakefield to win that one. Leesville Road is taking on Millbrook. That's a pretty even matchup. Going down, we have Wake Forest taking on Panther Creek. Panther Creek is 9-2. I believe they are the favorite in that game. Laney is taking on Pinecrest. Pinecrest went 10-1. They are the favorite to win that game. Of course, we have Sanderson taking on Jack Britt. Jack Britt is a football powerhouse in the past. I'm not quite sure what they are this year, but I believe they are expected to win. Then Holly Springs takes on Garner 8-3, so that will be a close matchup for sure. Definitely a rivalry game, if anything. And then at the bottom, we have Southview taking on Durham Riverside. Don't know much about those two teams. They have even records. And then, of course, your Mustangs taking on the Fuquay-Varina Bengals. Just as an overview of the bracket, there's just so much going on, and it's high school football. You can't predict at all what's going to happen. I have little summaries of the matchups, but without knowing the individual teams, it's hard to say. As I said, I mentioned the favorites. We will keep an eye on those games via Twitter. We'll have updates for you constantly as this game progresses, and it's going to be an interesting combination of who wins and who doesn't. But really, all the Mustangs are focusing on is winning this bracket. We're not looking at any other brackets, and they just need to advance.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a big teller of how the Mustangs are going to show up throughout this postseason. They set the tone tonight, coming out against Fuquay, like I said, who they played last week, who they beat pretty well. They just need to come out and play Mustangs football like we've seen in the past couple weeks.
And just a reminder to all of our viewers, we do not have licensing rights to this game, therefore it is not being broadcast live. Those of you who are on Sports Block or YouTube watching this game right now, it's going to be, like we said, a great matchup. It's not too cold. However, there is going to be some inclement weather rolling through here. WRAL has been calling it for a while. I believe it's going to be rainy. I don't know if it'll be thunder and lightning. I imagine not, but of course, Tyler, they had one other game where it rained, and I think it really affected not only the Mustangs. What was it, Cary?
It was Cary, yes.
And that game ended in 14-0 Middle Creek's favor, but obviously it's going to play a role here once it starts kicking in. We got tents upstairs covering our cameras, and we're all prepared, so hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, the rain does play a major part in the Mustangs' offense. Their spread offense that likes to pass an awful lot. And so in the Cary game, the Mustangs had to resort to their run game more than they would have liked, and so that didn't give them the diversity that they needed throughout the game to beat Cary's very, very well. So, like you said, we'll look to see how that weather does affect tonight. But looking at the sky right now, there's no clouds, and the moon's out shining full. So we'll hopefully not see any rain.
Yeah, and then some notable injuries. I'm not sure of every single injury on the team, however, some notable ones. Of course, Tom Hartshorn, he plays linebacker, correct? He is injured. He is being limited to the long snapper tonight for the Mustangs. So he, if you remember that one game where there was, I believe it was Athens, he recovered 3 or 4 fumbles, and he's a big part of the offense, both on the field and as a leader. And then, of course, he's been out for a while. Number 4, Elijah Perry, not running back. It is worth noting that Chris Huey has informed me, the kicker, that there are junior varsity players on the sidelines for the Mustangs tonight that are wearing injured Mustangs jerseys. I don't think they'll be making an appearance, but in the event that they do, for example, number 4, Elijah Perry will not be number 4 Elijah Perry as a junior varsity player will be wearing his jersey. And it looks like the Fuquay-Varina Bengals will be receiving on this opening kickoff, something that we've seen quite often, Middle Creek not electing to receive, or might not have been their choice, but traditionally they are kicking off in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a good thing for Coach Castellano to get his defense out there, because so far this year's defense has been very, very strong. And with Tom Hartshorn out, he's a big blow to this defense. He's one of the captains, and he's an all-around great guy, good football player, very good football player. So we'll see how this defense can adjust to his absence.
And Rubino starts off the drive with a kick. That one's going to be fielded at the 1-yard line. This is going to be terrible field position for the Bengals. A nice job by Mustang special teams. And, of course, also noting the Middle Creek's ability to keep special teams off balance with that onside kick that they love to run.
Oh, absolutely. That is a huge game changer. That's one of Castellano's main weapons in his repertoire there. He likes to pull it out in most situations that people would think, hey, I'm going to kick it deep. But it does give the coaching staff for the opposing team a hard time, and it makes everything unpredictable.
Definitely. And, it keeps us off balance up here as announcers, and you can only imagine what it does to the special teams coordinator on the other team. So, of course, as you mentioned, Fuquay very run-heavy, and I imagine they'd be running on first and second downs.
Yeah, tonight's quarterback is number 3, Tyler Williams.
And it looks like they're going to run the option. He's going to keep it himself and gain about 2 yards.
That was the option is something that we didn't really see much last Friday. Mostly we saw I think it was a wing back who they did a lot of wing jet sweeps. And so that's something that is new this week. The Bengals must have brought out of their playbook.
And they actually gave him 4 yards on that run. I think that was a generous spot. I didn't think he got that far. He's going to bring up 2nd and 6, ball on the 14-yard line. And here's a snap. Going to be a run up the middle, but stuffed immediately. A nice job by that Mustangs defense.
Yeah, good way to fill the gaps there by number 57, Terry Patterson. Really broke through that line and really got in there and disrupted the play before it even developed.
And that's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for Fuquay. They need to convert here if they want to prevent these Mustangs from getting great field position or even blocking their punt, which is another thing that they do quite often. Yeah,
the Mustangs have done a really good job on 3rd down so far this season. They've allowed very few first downs considered to the amount of times that they've had the opposing team on 3rd down.
And that's going to be a run up the middle. I believe that will be enough for the first down for Fuquay.
Looks like a fullback run up the middle, and he just wove through. That was good blocking by the offensive line there for Fuquay. So the Fuquay Bengals break over the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and we talked last game about how much hype there is surrounding these two teams playing. Of course, it was quite apparent last week when they played. And I think it's even taken a step up. I didn't think that was possible for this first-round playoff game.
Oh, absolutely. Fuquay's brought their whole town with them tonight. So,
and that is going to be a run up the middle. Nice job of finding that hole. It's going to be a gain of 9 yards.
But the Creek Crazies have definitely come out tonight. I believe the stands are full, and it looks like a lot of the parents have come out tonight to root on the Mustangs in this first-round playoff game, which could potentially be a very big game and is a trendsetter for the Mustangs for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, there's some complaining about the Creek Crazy leaders that some of the younger Creek Crazies were not very loud, weren't very involved with the game. So probably won't have a camera set up to film that, but me and Tyler will be keeping an eye just to see if that's true or not. So on first down, they're going to, guess what, run it. They're going to kind of swivel their way around. That's going to be a gain of about 5.
Very good fake there by the fullback. Had even the Creek Crazies fooled. That was another option play there. Looks like they're going to the option a lot more tonight, which is better than going back to the same jet sweep or fullback, because the Mustangs did a very good job of last week of just breaking down on that and holding them to minimal yards.
Yeah, when we have seen that option from various teams, it has not been very successful. It seems a lot of people have trouble pitching the ball accurately.
There it is again.
Quarterback's going to keep this one. He's going to be wrapped up. Not very good tackling by these Mustangs.
Looks like that could be close to a first down.
We'll see where they mark it. Yes, they are giving the indication to move the markers, so that will be a Fuquay first down.
Fuquay's marching downfield on their first drive of the game and eating up quite a bit of clock also. I believe it's been about 3 minutes and 30 seconds of possession time for the Bengals so far in this game.
And, no complaints here. I love watching football, don't get me wrong, but some of these games last for 3.5 hours, and that's not quite as entertaining. Here's a fullback run up the middle. He's going to carry a few Mustangs for a gain of about 7, maybe 8. And, Tyler, I'm looking over at Fuquay stands right now. They have a looks like they brought their marching band with them. I don't believe
that's a first. I haven't seen that so far throughout this season, and
I think that may be a playoff thing, because I remember E.E. Smith in the beginning of the season wanted to bring their band, but they were not allowed. So maybe that's a playoff rule that you can bring different bands. I really don't know.
It's something we'll have to look up, and we'll get back to you later on that one. So it'll be 2nd and 2.
And they are in Mustangs territory. Here's another run. Quarterback's going to keep it. He finds a hole, and that's going to be enough for the first down and an extra 5 yards after that.
Yeah, I believe they've only had 2 or 3 plays where it has not been the option. So if the trend continues, this will be a major part of their game. And so far it looks like the Mustangs are having a hard time stopping it. And I think Castellano and the rest of the defense is on the sideline making adjustments right now.
Yeah, and I had mentioned at the beginning of the show that they're going to need to develop a passing game to be effective. If they're able to run the ball this successfully by having all these different looks, they may not need to throw the ball, because Lord knows they were not very impressive last week. How many passing yards did you say they had?
They had 2 passing yards, and that is not a typo. That is 2 passing yards on 8 attempts.
So definitely they're going to want to keep pushing that run game, unless I don't know, Peyton Manning somehow slips onto the Bengals.
Yeah, because looking at warm-ups, they looked like they were trying to implement the pass game a little more, but looks like it was not quite their strong point. As you can see, the running game is their strong point right now.
And, we saw 2 different quarterbacks last week. I believe this was the second quarterback that they had brought in. Here's another run up the middle, gain of about 6 or 7 more yards. But I believe the quarterback, because I can tell by how they line up under center, I can't quite recall his name. I know we have a roster sheet around here.
Quarterback was Caleb Mundy last week, number 12. Not quite sure why Tyler Williams is in there right now, but I assume it's give the Mustangs a different face to look at, because he is a different quarterback. He's a lot faster and quicker and smaller, which makes it a little bit more hard to tackle him. But he's doing a good job. And
there's going to be a delay of game. No, the Fuquay called a timeout, and with that timeout, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You guys stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. And we are back with the sports block. Both teams still trying to make adjustments on the field. It's going to be a 3rd and 1. Fuquay's going to need to convert here. Looks like the defensive coordinators are having a nice long chat with the Mustangs about what they need to do to prevent this Fuquay offense from running all over them.
Looks like the Mustangs need to have the linebackers do a quarterback spy, which is basically having the quarterback, one of the linebackers or defensive ends or somebody, just going wherever the quarterback goes. If he goes left, goes right. So, I mean, you just got to have that because of this option. That's the only way you're going to be able to stop it unless you have all-out blitz and they just miss it. So,
and Fuquay is going to be able to push that one in for another 4 yards. That sounds good on paper. I don't know if that frees up a hole in the inside line. I don't know.
It's one of those things that, I mean, football is gambling, especially defense. Defense, you gamble all the time. You're guessing is the offense going to do this or are they going to do that? So it's all a gamble, but it's an educated gamble. So right now with them running the option all the time, I believe I would take that gamble and put that quarterback spy and have someone spy the quarterback and do whatever he does.
And that one's going to be a fullback handoff up the middle, gain of about 5. And, of course, that goes back to Tom Hartshorn being injured, one of our best linebackers. Definitely a blow to the defense.
Absolutely. And looks like the Bengals are taking full advantage of his absence right now, running the ball most of the time to the left, and that's where Tom played a lot of the time, was on the left side of the ball. So they are taking a lot of advantage of this.
Of course, Tom has the MCL injury. And here's another handoff up the middle. Heard someone in the press box call for offsides, no flags on the field.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs.
And it'll be a good job if they are able to stop them here, as that prevents them from getting the touchdown unless they go for it. But this is I don't want to say long range, but this is a decent range for a high school kicker.
Yeah, this is a crucial 4th down for the Mustangs. 3rd down for the Mustangs. They've got to stop them here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They've just got to stop them.
And a handoff up the middle. They're going to have a 1st down and a touchdown. So the Fuquay-Varina Bengals are the first to strike blood here in this rivalry matchup. Of course, the Mustangs will be out on offense. They'll have a chance to respond. But they started on the 10-yard line, and they're able to parade all the way down 90 yards. I believe that's just straight 90 yards of running offense, not a single pass thrown. So obviously that's any indication of what the Mustangs need to fix here. It's that running, preventing that running game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Bengals are going to be doing that all night. So the Mustangs have to adjust, or they're going to get in the hole very deep.
And I believe that entire drive took up about 8 minutes. There's 12 minutes at the beginning of a quarter, correct?
Yeah, 7 minutes and 54 seconds. So that was an extremely long drive, and so far they hold the possession time.
Yes, and they are leading now 7-0. But of course, and we saw last week, not so much a huge factor, but if it is a close game towards the end of the game, and their only offense is running, that's going to be a huge detriment to them because they're not able to stop that clock. Maybe for a few seconds if they're able to get a 1st down, but if all they can do is run, they only have 3 timeouts. Say in a 2-minute drill, that's really going to come back and bite them in the butt.
Yeah, with the passing game, it's a lot easier to control the clock because you can throw it out of bounds, that kind of stuff. Incomplete pass stops the clock, but with that run game, you got to either get a 1st down and then you got to spike it, or you got to run out of bounds. There's no other way to stop the clock. So the Mustangs, if it does get late in that game where they need to control that clock, they have a lot better chance of being able to stop it with the ways they want to without using those timeouts.
And if you look where this Fuquay-Varina kicker is lining up, this is the same formation they did when they attempted an onside kick. It's kind of obvious. He looks like he's definitely going for it, so we'll see if he's able to execute it. Tyler, I have a question. If they know they're going to kick the onside kick, why don't defenders move up to – are they not allowed to move?
They are allowed to move. It's just –
and here's the onside kick, and that one's going to be recovered by the Mustangs. A good job with the hands there. They're going to be at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, it's just one of those things because, the kicker, if he sees something, he can boot it deep. And, it's a live ball, so they have an easy chance of just picking it up and possibly scoring. So, like we said earlier, we were going to keep you updated on scores in the East bracket, I believe. And right now, looks like Panther Creek, the number 5 seed, is up on Wake Forest 6-0, who is the number 12 seed. So we will keep you updated on those scores as they come in.
Thanks, Tyler. That was a nice run up the middle for a gain of 9 yards. He just seemed to ballet dance around all the defenders there. That was a nice run of just keep going forward.
So they'll bring up 2nd and 1. Looks like there's a little confusion out there on the field.
And here's the snap looking to pass. It's Gristle. And that's going to be caught and run up the sideline for a nice gain for the Mustangs. Can't quite tell who that was. Again, those numbers.
That was Keon Smith, number 1. Pushed out around the 35-yard line. You see the Mustangs hustle up to the line to keep getting those plays in and catch the defense off guard.
Yeah, I'm almost hesitant to call somebody out as Keon Smith because it seems whenever somebody catches the ball, I think it's Keon. And here's a quick throw over to Jay Schuler. He's going to make a few cuts around the Fuquay defender. He's going to bring it all the way out to the 20-yard line. Nice play execution by the Mustangs.
Very good blocking by the offensive line. They don't get a lot of credit throughout these games because we on the receivers and the running backs and the quarterback. But the offensive line is a major part of this offense where they got to do a lot of blocking and running around.
And here's a handoff once again. Makes a few cuts, run up the middle. And that's Josh Drake on the carry. Gain of about 5.
So far, the Mustangs have done a very good job of mixing up the plays, throwing a couple passes in there, then going with the delay handoff to Josh Drake, and that got the defense off guard.
And another handoff to Drake. Just keeps going. He's got Fuquay defenders on him. Just keeps running. That's going to be down at around the 5-yard line, and that's a first down for the Mustangs. And Middle Creek has that dual-headed monster being Josh Drake and Stuart Fine. Nice, both different looks and both very good runners.
Yeah, very good. Looks
and a keeper for Grizzle, and he's going to run right into the end zone for a Middle Creek touchdown. That is a nice call by the offensive coordinator because I don't think anybody really expected Gristle to hang on to that ball.
No, that was a very, very good play call by Coach Bordeaux there, the offensive coordinator. He'd gotten some pass plays earlier in the drive and got a few handoffs to the running back, and they looked like they were focused on the running back. And when he did that read option, it really opened up that left side for Brant, and he found that hole.
And once again, nice blocking by the offensive line. Chris Huey on for the extra point. Up, and it is good. So the game will be tied at 7 apiece, 2 minutes and 35 seconds left here in the game. And just a comparison, the Mustangs took, about a minute and 25 seconds to score on that drive, whereas Fuquay took 8 minutes. And we're going to take a quick look at this run by Gristle into the end zone. Just completely fools the defenders. Nobody really knew what they were doing. And that's an easy touchdown for the Mustangs. So we will see what the Mustangs elect to do here, kicking off to the Bengals onside kick or a kick deep. Worked out in their favor by kicking it deep, downing them, pinning them at the 10-yard line. Of course, they would come back and score in a 90-yard drive, but once again, we'll see what Castellano calls.
And may I reiterate, it was 8 minutes long. Or no, it was 7 minutes and 54 seconds long. So that they've done a very good job with controlling the clock and the possession time.
And here's Rubino. And it will be an onside kick, and this one will be recovered by the Bengals. That one did not go 10 yards, however. That one was in front of the 50. No flag on the field. That one should have been a flag. So I don't know would the Mustangs want a flag in that situation?
No, there's no flag. There's only a flag there if in that case the kicking team, which was the Mustangs, if they had touched it, then there would be a penalty there. And I believe the Bengals would get it on the 40-yard line, or it might be a re-kick. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I believe it is the 40-yard line.
Yeah, so Bengals get really good field position starting on the Mustangs' 49-yard line. Tyler Williams is still in at quarterback.
And he's going to keep it himself. make a few cuts, and he's going to be tackled. Forward progress probably got him 2 or 3 yards.
Looks like he missed a big hole there that the Bengals offense had put for him, but he ran right into Jacob Pearl on the left side, which I believe was a gain of about 2 yards. So that'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Of course, Jacob Pearl, one of our best safeties, all conference, about 5'6", 5'7", maybe 5'8". I want to sell him any short, but he's a small in stature, but he's built like a truck. He is an absolute powerhouse for his size.
Absolutely.
And here's a pitch to the outside. He's going to be tackled for little gain.
Looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but I'm not quite sure if he did. The refs are spotting it there, but I thought he was maybe a yard short. But looks like the refs gave him the benefit of the doubt, so it'll bring up 3rd down.
Another crucial. Every 3rd down this game will be a crucial 3rd down. I'll just preface all of my 3rd downs with that. And quarterback's going to keep it
again. Oh,
and
man.
He will have enough for the 1st down. Tough to see quite where those holes are from up here in the press box, but he's definitely finding them and really abusing them.
Most definitely. I mean, he's done a very good job so far. And I believe so far in this game, that looks like the option is Tyler Williams. The quarterback's, that's his package is the option. So he's done a very good job at it, and I guess he's, quote, their master of the option.
Yeah, we talked to Castellano at the coaches at Ruckus at the coaches show last Tuesday, and he had mentioned that when we played Fuquay last week, Fuquay played a different completely style of offense than they were anticipating them to play. So maybe they were kind of holding back last week, didn't want to give up any of their secrets because this option is something that we did not see very often last game, and now here it is almost every play for the Bengals. So maybe some strategic coaching by the Bengals.
Yeah, there comes a time, though, when it just everybody knows it is coming, and there was motion on this side, so that ball's coming back.
As if it wasn't going back far enough already.
Yeah.
Mustang just plowing them backwards. But, I mean, at this point in the game, it should be rather obvious, what they're going to do. Only 10 seconds left here in the first quarter. But as a defense preparing, of course, I've never played football, and I know you were a receiver. But as a defense preparing for this game, I don't think they really expected to see the option, or so it would appear based on how they're handling this running game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting to the point where it could possibly hurt the Bengals because you're using that play so much, and that the defense can finally figure out, like, hey, it's going to happen. We're going to get the option or some kind of running play. So that could potentially hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, and with that is. And we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers for a sideline report. And we are having technical difficulties on the field with Madison Jaggers. We're going to go into a commercial break for the end of this first quarter. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. And we are back with the Sports Block. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties we're experiencing. We're going to go over to Tyler Scholler for a look at the Eastern Conference bracket.
So right now we have an update on number 6 ranked Garner, and number 11 ranked Holly Springs. Right now the game is tied 7-7, so that is a big surprise. So we will keep you updated on that game further into our game.
Yeah, and Fuquay was backed up 5 yards on that play. It is 2nd and 14 on their on Middle Creek's 41-yard line. Of course, that being a result of the onside kick failure. That's only going to be a gain of about 2 yards. So that would bring up 3rd and, I believe, 13, ball on the 40-yard line. And they're going to need a big run here for 13 yards if they want to convert.
Yeah, Mustangs defense needs to get really strong here and stop them, because right now the Bengals look like they have a lot of momentum going in. The key to stopping them is to stop their momentum, and so stopping them here on this 3rd down will be huge momentum shifter.
And here's the snap. The quarterback might actually throw it. He's rolling out looking for an open receiver, and he's got no one open, and he's going to be tackled well short of the 1st down. Nice job by the Mustangs secondary of making sure nobody got open, and a nice job of the pressure to make sure he couldn't roll out.
Looks like the Bengals had looked like a tight end open right at the 1st down marker, but just couldn't quite get it to him. So bring up, like you said, 4th and 8.
And don't see the kicking team coming out here, so they're going to go for it here on 4th down, and not a bad play call considering their position on the field.
And it's not surprising considering their 4th and 59 fake punt last week.
Let's not talk about that, Tyler. And here's a handoff to the outside, and they're going to tackle him short of the 1st down, and that is a nice job by the Mustangs defense of preventing that 4th down conversion.
So we have another score update from Fayetteville with Jack Britt, number 3, and number 14 Sanderson. That game is also tied at 7-7 late in the 1st quarter. So we will keep you updated on that game also.
And there is the run by Drake. Little to no gain.
Looks like it'll be 2nd and 1, or 2nd and 9, excuse me.
And Gristle looking to throw over the sideline. That one's going to be caught by Schuler. He's going to run up the sideline. He breaks the tackle, and that is going to be a huge gain for the Mustangs. Great running after the catch by Schuler. Just kind of juked one Fuquay defender, and after that he had another 10 yards before he was pushed out of bounds.
Looks like we got a penalty on the play over on the far sideline, about the 47-yard line.
And it looks like this will back the Mustangs up.
So that was a holding call, so that'll back them up, make it 2nd and 19. Or, excuse me, 2nd and 4 it looks like.
And the Mustangs are moving back up. Let's take a quick look over at the pass made by Schuler. Instant replay. So here's Gristle. And some technical difficulties on that side as well. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
So we have another score update from Durham, Riverside, and Southview. Southview was up 13-0 on Durham Riverside, who was a number 7 seed. So it looks like we have a little bit of an upset brewing. We'll keep you updated on that score also.
And that is going to be a neutral zone infraction by the defense. That's going to give the Mustangs a 1st down.
Good job with getting the Bengals to jump off sides. It looked like they were a little antsy there to get up there and record the tackle before the 1st down, but a little too antsy, and the coaches read that like a book.
Ball on the 45. Here's Gristle looking to pass. Looking towards the sideline, going deep. He is an open Curtis Bernstein. He's going to reel that one in and run it in for a Mustangs touchdown. A beautiful pass by Brant Gristle and a nice run in by Curtis Bernstein. That was a huge play for the Mustangs. If that's not a momentum builder, I don't know what is.
That was a beautiful pass, and I emphasized the beautiful there. That was perfectly placed. Curtis caught it in stride, and there was no turning back there. It was a beautiful, just beautiful pass.
And that's the only way I can think to describe it. Just a beautiful, beautiful pass by Gristle. Of course, Curtis's size definitely helps him being a target over the middle. And pending the extra point here by Huey, they're going to be up 14-7 on these Bengals. And, in fact, it is good.
So if you had to guess, the Wakefield, who is the number 1 seed in the East, and Greenhope, who's the number 16 seed, the last seed in the East, what would you think the score would be right now?
I don't know. Probably at the end of the first quarter, I'd imagine Wakefield would be up by, I don't know, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns.
Well, you're wrong. Right now, we have number 16 seed Greenhope up 7-0 on the number 1 seed Wakefield going into the second quarter.
Wow,
so
that would be a huge upset.
That would be a great momentum changer for Greenhope, because if you remember, I believe it was a couple years ago, they were like 0-40 something, 0-50 something.
Something ridiculous.
And now they're in the playoffs playing Wakefield, which is just a great thing.
Yeah, the Tri-9, well, formerly the Tri-9, has always been a pretty strong conference, of course, Greenhope. Probably not the pinnacle of that, but definitely they had a losing record this year. But, I mean, like I said at the beginning, the very beginning of the broadcast, it's high school football. Literally anything can happen.
So Michael Rubino is set to kick.
And he will drill this one into the back corner. That one's going to be a touchback, an absolute monster of a kick. So the Fuquay Bengals will start at their 20-yard line.
And the thing with Rubino, looks like he doesn't put any effort into it at all.
He really does not. Just a monster leg. That's really all it is. And, I mean, both these kickers, Huey and Rubino, put in tons of work in practice, nailing those field goals, always trying to increase their distance.
So the Bengals will take over at 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
So imagine Fuquay will try to run the ball here. Look into my crystal ball, and all I see is running. Turns out I was correct. No, he's going to throw it.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, they surpassed their total yards last week in the air.
10-yard, about a 13-yard gain. I'm sorry, 17-yard gain on that pass play. Definitely fooled me if you were not able to tell. So that looked like a pretty, solid pass.
It looked better than last week's. Last week's was all over the place. It looked like the receivers and the quarterbacks weren't on the same page, but right there looked like Tyler Williams and his receiver were right there together. Another pass.
Looking to roll out. Nobody open. He's going to spin, and he's going to try and cut back on the other side of the field. One Mustang to beat if he's able to do it, and he's just going to run out of bounds. Enough for the first down. However, there is a flag on the other side of the field.
Way back at about the 31-yard line. So if that's holding, that's a spot of the foul, or at the end of the run, I believe. Or it might be spot of the foul. I have no idea.
We will wait and see. However, that was almost kind of scary as you saw him cutting back to the other side of the field, and only one Mustang really within running distance to knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, that was extremely scary. Good thing the flag flew, because that could have been very, very huge, and they'll back him up another 15 yards.
That was a 15-yard penalty?
I believe so. Yeah, it looks like it.
And that's a big blow to that nice run. Week in and week out, I'm always, confused as to how people decide if it's a 5 or 10 or even 15-yard penalty, because I don't know how that works.
So right now we have another score update for the Panther Creek Wake Forest game. Wake Forest is now up 7-6 over Panther Creek, and Leesville Road and Millbrook are tied at 7.
So 1st and 25, looking to throw here over the sideline. I believe miscommunication. The receiver, number 4, That is
Tyler McBride.
he looked like he may have slipped on that play. So we'll bring up 2nd and 25.
So there's 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this first half, and seems like the Bengals have already started to use the pass game a lot more. And I believe it was like last week their first pass was it the last play of the first half, or was it like late in this?
It was
late in the second half.
First play of the second half, I believe, or one of the earlier parts of the first half. That's a QB keeper. As a nice hit by a Mustang to keep him from getting more than 5 yards.
Very, very nice stop right there.
Seemed like he just hit a stone wall.
Yeah, that was Uric Sands. I believe he's a cornerback. Put a really good hit for being a cornerback. Cornerbacks are a little bit smaller, but very, very solid hit and kept him to minimal yards. I believe it was a gain of 4 yards. So that'll bring up 3rd and 21. And we have another update from Pinecrest and Laney. They are tied at 7-7 now.
And here's the snap, looking to throw. Over down the sideline. That is a rainbow. And that is going to be intercepted by the Mustangs down at their own 43-yard line. That's Terrence White on the interception. And that was just pass waiting to be intercepted.
Yeah, that was a freshman quarterback for Fuquay, number 16, Bryson Braswell. Just a little lollipop rainbow right there, and Terrence went up and got it at the highest peak and pulled it down.
Is that the 3rd different quarterback we've seen from Fuquay? In these past 2 weeks?
Yeah, in these past 2 weeks we've seen three different quarterbacks, and that was the second one tonight.
And Gristle looking to throw here on first down, buying some time. He's got to get rid of it. And he does. He's going to find an open receiver. We'll see if they call it a catch. They do, in fact. That'll be a gain of 11. That was number 11, Deontay McDonald, on the reception.
So right now we have Garner up 21-7 on Holly Springs. The Garner is, again, the number 6 seed.
And you see that instant replay of that interception. Like we said, of a pass, quick screenplay over to Curtis Burnson, a little bit low and out of his reach, so that'll bring up 2nd down.
Looked like there's a flag on the backside between number 4 and number 8 of Middle Creek, which is Jay Schuler. Personal foul against Middle Creek. Wow.
Not quite sure what the penalty was for. However, that will negate that play. So 2nd and 10, ball on the 45-yard line.
So we have another score update. Sanderson and Jack Britt. Jack Britt is up 21-7 on Sanderson.
And a play over to Jay Schuler. Breaks a few tackles, and he's going to gain about 10 yards on that.
Gets almost back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like it'll be a 3rd and 12. Good pickup, though. Kind of gained some of those yards back that they lost. And it was Jay who had the penalty called against him, so it was good that he got those yards back for his team.
And here's Gristle looking to throw once again, 3rd and 12. And that's going to be nice job by that wide receiver. That is Jay Schuler breaking up that interception, and that's something that's a senior wide receiver play right there.
Yeah, that's something the receivers work on an awful lot throughout the years. I mean, sometimes you're going to have those plays where it's not going to be catchable, and you just got to play defense. So that was a great job by Jay of turning into a DB right there.
Yeah, that one honestly looked like a interception for the minute it left his hands, and as a receiver, I don't think you can tell that, but very great awareness by Schuler there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And here comes the punt. Fuquay trying to block that one. Nice protection. That one's going to land at about the 17-yard line, picked up at the 20. 6 minutes and 44 seconds left here in the second quarter. And Not going quite as fast as the first quarter. Of course, that first quarter was largely dominated by that 90-yard drive from Fuquay.
Yeah, and that took up most of the whole quarter, really. That 7 minutes and 54 seconds. So they've got plenty of time to do what they normally do, which is that run game. But so far in the past couple plays, we've seen passes, and we haven't. Bryson Braswell staying in at quarterback, who's number 16, just threw the interception last drive for Fuquay.
If he's staying in, I imagine that other quarterback may have been injured.
I have no idea, but we'll see what happens. And
that's going to be a handoff, gain of about two yards. Of course, that interception may result in a lack of confidence once again in the passing game.
Yeah, because I believe last week did they have an interception last week? I cannot quite recall.
I do not recall either.
But that is that interception could possibly play with the nerves of a freshman playing in a big playoff game for Fuquay here against their rival Middle Creek, and it's a big shoes to put a freshman in.
And here's the snap. Going to be a handoff, a reverse handoff. I lost track of the ball there, and he's going to run enough for the first down, depending on where they spot where he ran out of bounds.
So it looks like we have another score update between number 6 Garner and number 11 Holly Springs. Garner is up 28-7 on Holly Springs, and we will keep you updated throughout this broadcast on scores from around the Eastern bracket.
And they will give him about 3 more yards to go for that first down. Looked like he probably stepped out of bounds before he kept going. Hard to tell from up here. And they're going to hand it off up the middle. He's going to be wrapped up and tackled at the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 4th down for Fuquay. And they have 2 or 3 yards to go. Do you think they go for it?
Well, according to the spot, that is a very, very good spot. Wow. I cannot I have no idea. That was a terrible, terrible spot. Looks like they gained him a couple yards. Gave him a few extra yards there.
Yeah, and while they iron this out, we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers on the sideline for a sideline report.
It's the first round of the playoffs, and Middle Creek is playing Fuquay again for the second time in a row. Fuquay was able to score the first touchdown, and Coach was upset with how the defense was playing. However, offenses came and dominated, making the score 14-7. This is Madison Jaggers. Back to you.
Thanks, Madison. And that first down chains, it will reveal that it is a Fuquay first down. I don't understand how or why or what they were looking at, but that one seemed well short of being even remotely close to a first down.
It looked like they had the ball carrier stopped a couple yards short. It actually looked like he might have possibly lost a yard, but at the most he got back to the line of scrimmage. But wow, that's very questionable.
Nonetheless, they have another 70 yards until they can score. That one's going to be wrapped up for a yard, if any.
Looks like they'll give him a yard. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9 as Braswell continues to stay in at quarterback. And it looks like number 3, Tyler Williams, who was the previous quarterback, is in at another position. I believe it's a wing. I'm not 100% sure.
Me neither. It looked like a QB keeper. An unsuccessful one at that. Gain of two yards.
Another flag on the play, flown very late.
I have a feeling this one's going to be a personal foul against Mustangs.
I hope not. That'll be the second one.
I saw some late kind of, and put this one in air quotes, blocking by the Bengals at the end of that play, and I would imagine a back for the Mustangs did not like that, and that will back the Mustangs up.
So we have another score update from number 5, Panther Creek, and number 12, Wake Forest. Wake Forest is up 14-6 on Panther Creek, so stay tuned.
And there's that Fuquay band playing. As we said earlier, not quite accustomed to having anybody other than our band play. So that will put Fuquay, that line of scrimmage was at the 47-yard line. And that was a QB keeper, gain of about 7 yards.
That was number 5, Uric Sands on the tackle. Nice little fake there. The fake's been very, very good for them throughout this game. They've done a lot of those read options. The options have played a major part throughout this game so far. They've had like 4 or 5 passing plays.
2nd and 3 into Mustang territory. And here's the handoff. Almost wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, but he's going to shake that one off and gain another 10 yards, enough for the first down.
The Bengals have done a good job of gaining yards after that first initial contact. They've Mustangs looks like they're just hitting and sliding off. Doesn't look like they're really wrapping up and tackling, and that's something they've got to adjust, because after those that first initial contact, the Bengals are gaining a lot of yards. So that's something they need to look out for.
And here's the handoff. Gain of about 5 up the middle. Late fumble.
Whoa.
And they will mark him down when that ball is coughed up. I think that was the right call.
I don't know. It looked like the ball came out before his knees hit the ground. But we do not make the decisions, so the Bengals will keep possession.
And, maybe in the NFL, they have so many people dedicated on both sides of the ball to instant replays and challenging a play. Of course, this is high school. There's no instant replay. And really, it's basically what the officials say and what they call. And QB keeper.
No.
And there's a huge pile or just a huge mass of bodies, and it always seems like a Fuquay receiver is able to just pop out successfully from that throng of players.
Yeah, defense just needs to do a better job of just getting that tackle, because looks like the Bengals have come out stronger tonight than they did in the previous games, and they're really just dragging that Mustangs defense all over the field.
So ball is on the 18-yard line. They are in what I would consider a red zone. QB keeper once again. Gain of 4 or 5 yards. Looks like a Mustang player late to get up there. Seems to be okay.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Ball is spotted on the 13-yard line. And here comes the snap for the Bengals. Going to hand it off for sure this time. And he's going to make it to inside the 5-yard line for a first down.
So we have another score update from Panther Creek and Wake Forest. Panther Creek has tied it up 14-14 now. And we have another score update from number 6 Garner and number 11 Holly Springs. Garner is up 28-14 on the Hawks. So we will keep you updated on those games and all the others around the Eastern Conference bracket.
Only need 3 yards to score here. I imagine with the way they've been running, this won't be very difficult.
As the clock winds down, under 45 seconds now.
And here's the handoff. Makes a cut. And he will be stopped in between at the 2-yard line.
So the clock continues to run as we get to 30 seconds left in this first half. And the clock's continued to running, so it looks like they may have a couple more plays to get in. They've got all 3 timeouts.
If the Mustangs are able to stop them here, Fuquay may be forced to kick a field goal. We'll see.
We will see. Hopefully the defense needs to get a stop here, no doubt about it. So let's see what they do.
And here's a handoff. Not going to matter. That one's going to be a Fuquay touchdown. Only 8.8 seconds left here when that running back ran it into the end zone. And that is going to tie it up at 14, probably going into the locker room.
And that's if pending the extra point, that is a big turnaround of events here at Mustang Stadium. Mustangs were up 14-7 early in the second quarter, and the Bengals put together, I believe it was like a 6-minute and 40-some second drive. So they are doing a really good job of keeping the Mustangs offense off the ball, or off the field, excuse me.
And that extra point attempt is good, so that will in fact tie it at 14. Stick around. Before the halftime show, we will be going down to our sports block reporter, Sozio, for a halftime report. Of course, that will be followed up by the marching band. I would imagine it would probably be our marching band, considering there are two bands here. Never know.
I would hope it would be the Mustangs band, because I don't believe many Middle Creek families or students would really appreciate the Fuquay band being on our field.
Probably not. And we're going to go down to Sozio on the field right now. Sozio, what do you got for us?
Energy is high in the Mustang Stadium right now as both teams fight hard. The Bengals finish off the first half with a touchdown, tying the score. Number 32, Frankie Robinson, is out for the rest of the game with a knee injury. I'm Sydney Sozio. Now back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. And looks like Fuquay may be lining up for an onside kick here. That's a odd call.
Yeah, with the position of the tee, looks like there's going to be one, and there is.
And that one's fielded by Schuler. He's
Jeff.
able to get some extra yards before being tackled with a little bit under 5 seconds left here. I don't see how that would have benefited Fuquay in the least. Even if they recovered, they still had another 60 yards to go.
Absolutely. That's a crazy call, I believe, because the Mustangs got really, really good field position. And, I mean, if you kick it deep, the Mustangs have really
no chance at scoring.
Yeah, basically no chance. But now you put them at the 40-yard line where a quick pass and falling down and then calling timeout could really help the Mustangs here. They could potentially get 7 points and go into halftime leading.
And Fuquay is going to call a timeout, talk things over. With that timeout, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Block. And we're back with the Sports Block. 4.9 seconds left. That's going to be enough for one play for the Mustangs, and definitely out of field goal range, so it's going to be a Hail Mary into the end zone. I imagine Curtis Bernson will be their main target, 3-man rush, and that one's going to be lobbed up and batted down by the Bengals, so dangerous call. Luckily for the Bengals, does not turn into anything. And that's going to be the end of the first half. So far, very balanced football game. Mustangs are tied with the Bengals at 14. They're going to have to go into the locker room, make adjustments on both sides of the field. We're going to take a break. Stay tuned for the band making their performances. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. Kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. Kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
watching the Sports Blog.
He one block,
Oh!
and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block,
Oh!
and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching.
Score 14-28.
tonight's performance from our award-winning Mighty Marching Mustang Band.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. And we are back with the Sports Block. Sorry, some Katy Perry being rocked out here at the stadium. We're going to go over to Tyler Scholler for some first half summary reports.
Well, the first half for the Mustangs was a fairly good half. Quarterback Brant, he had 4 passes, 4 completions for a total of 42 yards and 1 touchdown and no interceptions. Josh Drake was a bulldog on the ground. He had 4 carries for a total of 24 yards. And the Mustangs had a total of 2 touchdowns throughout that first quarter. Fuquay had their 2 touchdowns, their second coming late in the first half.
And an onside kick by Fuquay to lead off this first half. That's going to give Mustangs great field position as they recover it.
Midway through the second quarter, I believe the Fuquay Bengals switched to number 16, Bryson Braswell, who his first pass from the line of scrimmage was an interception to number 10, Terrence White, and that set up that second Mustangs, or that ended up being a 4th and 3 and out for the Mustangs. So they'll take over now and start off the second half of the ball as Josh Drake runs up the left side for a first down.
And a relative of a member of the sports block, Matt Schmidt, made that onside kick recovery. It is 2nd and 1, ball on the 42. Going to be a handoff to Drake once again. Sheds some tackles, and that's going to be a gain of about 10 yards.
So we have another score update from number 6 Garner and number 11 Holly Springs. Garner was up 42-14 on Holly Springs, so they are slowly running away with this game. We'll keep you updated as scores come in.
Is that considered slowly running away with it? I think they are already ran away, and they're in Mexico now.
Well, they're getting there. We'll figure it out soon. As pass complete to Jay Schuler. Looks like it'll be just short of the first down. Looks like it'll be 2nd and 2.
2nd and 1 is, in fact, the official ruling on the scoreboard. And it's going to be a handoff to Drake once again. Makes a few cuts. I think he will, in fact, have enough for the first down.
Looks like number 40, Stuart Fine, is coming in to replace Josh Drake at running back.
Again, we mentioned 2 different looks, both very good running backs.
But they're 2 completely different types of running backs also.
And Gristle looking to throw the outside. That's Schuler. And there is a flag down on the field. Another one flies in a little bit later.
Yeah, looks like there might be possibly 2 penalties, but it might be the same one, so we'll go down to the referee to figure out what this call is.
And sounds like it will be holding against the Mustangs, so that will back them up.
So that'll put a stint in the Mustangs' drive as they will have 1st and 13 from their 26-yard line.
First and 13. And they're going to hand it off to Fine. Just gets back to the original line of scrimmage, so going to be 2nd and 10.
Looks like Terry Patterson a little shaken up on the play. Looks like maybe an ankle problem, something, I don't know. So he'll come off and get checked by the training staff.
And here's a snap jet sweep to Keon Smith. He's got some nice blocking, and he's going to run it up for a gain of about 8 or 9 yards.
But there is a flag on the play.
And the indication in the press box is that it will be on the Mustangs. So they will get backed up once again. Will be a face mask call against the Mustangs.
So we have another score update from Fayetteville. Jack Britt against number 14, Sanderson. Jack Britt is up 28-21 on the number 14 seed Sanderson. So that is a close game, and we will be sure to keep an eye out on that one as there is a possible upset brewing.
And Josh Drake has re-entered the game for the Mustangs at running back. And here's snap. Gristle looking to throw. Play is going to be blown dead by a whistle. And it will be against the Mustangs. False start. And if there's one word to describe this drive so far for the Mustangs, it's penalties.
Yeah, penalties have really hurt the Mustangs so far in this drive, and hopefully throughout the second half they can change that routine, and so where they just get more comfortable and they can start putting some drives together and put up points on the board.
And here's the snap by Gristle, looking to throw over the middle. That's Keon Smith, I believe, and he's going to drop that one. Not very characteristic of any Mustangs on the field.
So that'll bring up third down at 18 from their 32-yard line.
Gonna need to be a passing play, no doubt, for Gristle.
Looks like they need to get the ball inside that 25-yard line to give Michael Rubino the chance to boot it through the uprights.
And here's a pass to the sideline, catch by Schuler. Was he in bounds? No, the referees say he was not. He was out of bounds. So Fuquay will come up with the stop. Should they kick the field goal, it's going to be a long one. And I think they will actually just go for it instead. 4th and 18.
Yeah. Right now you're too far. You're just out of Michael Rubino's field goal range, but you're really too close to try a punt. So you just gotta go for it, and hopefully you can get that first down.
Gristle looking to throw. Lobs it up. He's got an open Curtis Bernston, and that's going to be caught for a Middle Creek touchdown.
Touchdown!
Wow, what a great call by the Mustangs. He was being guarded by 2 or 3 Fuquay-Varina defenders, and he just goes up there and catches that ball and just flaunts into the end zone for a Mustang score.
Wow, that's beautiful. That
one's got me pumped up.
We've been using beautiful a lot tonight because, I mean,
that's the
really
only way you can describe the passes Gristle is putting out right now.
And the catches that Curtis Burston is doing, I mean, some of those are a typical D1 football player catches right there. And as we know, Curtis Burston is going into ECU next year to play football.
And that will make the score 21. And it is exciting.
We actually missed the extra point, so that'll be 20-14, which is, I know it's really surprising.
Okay, we're going to take a replay on that pass. And here's a throw. He just kind of lobs it up. Bernson's going to do all the work here and just comes down with it. There's 3 defenders in the area, and that's like you said, D1 material out of Bernston. And as you said, we missed the extra point. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
That is actually Chris Huey's first missed extra point there. Looks like it was partially due to a low snap that just threw off the timing, and that just shows you how big timing is in the game of football. Is just that low snap where it just skimmed the top of the grass, really threw off that PAT.
And that may come back if this game remains close to bite the Mustangs in the butt. They may have to try for a 2-point conversion next time they score a touchdown, which there's no doubt in my mind they will.
So Michael Rubino is back and set to kick off from left to right.
Unsuccessful in their first onside kick attempt. We'll see what they do here. And they will just kick it off into the end zone for the touchback. And now I can almost kind of tell when it's going to be an onside kick based off what the Mustang special teams kind of angles when they begin to run.
So we have another score update. Southview, who is the number 10 seed, and number 7 seed Durham Riverside. Looks like Southview is up 13-3 on Durham Riverside. So there's an upset right there that we will continue to keep an eye on. And looks like we have Leesville Road and Millbrook. Millbrook is actually up on Leesville Road 10-7 right now. So we will continue to keep you updated on these scores as they come in.
And here's a snap. Going to be a run. And that one's going nowhere.
Looked like a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Depending on the spot, which has been somewhat questionable from Mustang standpoint. We've had that one crucial, I believe it was a 3rd down, where it looked like we had him stop short, but they gave him the
well short,
the very gracious spot, and so that gave them the momentum to go down and score that first touchdown.
And here's going to be a handoff. QB keeper, I think. Actually, I lost track of where that ball was. And That one's going to be wrapped up for a loss of 2 yards. Nice. I think that's the first tackle we've made for a loss so far this game.
It seems like it. Fuquay has had a couple penalties that have really hurt him, but really, like you said, we haven't seen Fuquay really in third and long, second and long territory. So they've come out, done a great job so far, because this is a huge difference from last game, last Friday, where they were deep in debt.
And that run is also going nowhere, so maybe some nice halftime adjustments made by this Mustangs defense as they go down in 3 straight running attempts. I'm sorry.
Looks like that'll be 3 and out. Looks like the punt team comes on, but as we saw from last week, we never know when Fuquay will attempt to fake it or something like that, which I'm tired of talking about it, so I won't talk about that anymore, that fake punt.
Yeah, that's taboo, I think, at this point. But I don't think this is I said the same thing, but I don't think this is a position where they can fake punt, being how close they are to their own end zone. And Mustangs might be a little bit more wary of it this time around, or so you would hope. And here's a low snap. They're going to kick that one off. That was inches of being blocked by the Mustangs.
Looked like it was tipped. It was, in fact, tipped. Not quite sure by who, but looked like they got a fingertip on it, and that disrupted it a little bit, but they Fuquay Bengals got a Bengal bounce.
And that ball will be spotted at the Middle Creek 43-yard line. So pretty good field position for these Mustangs.
So with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, Mustangs are up 20-14 as they start their second drive of the second half.
Looks like a jet sweep to Bernston. Needs a block. That's a block in the back, I think. Not going to be called, though. Fuquay helmet comes off, but that's going to be a loss of 4 or 5 yards there for the Mustangs.
Looks like Burston had a hole inside, just couldn't quite get there, and so that cost him about 8 yards.
It was that much?
5 yards, sorry.
Yeah, five
I need to work on my gauging. Like, you've gotten a lot better throughout as the weeks have gone on, but I've gotten kind of worse.
2nd and 15, obvious passing situation. Gristle steps up. He's got an open Jay Schuler. Beautiful pass. And he's going to run down the sideline. Beats every Fuquay defender except for the last one. And what oh, geez, that is a gorgeous pass by Gristle. Gorgeous reception by Jay Schuler, and a beautiful run after the catch. And just the Mustangs passing game is just on fire tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And there, as you see them, they're hustling up to the line to hopefully get the Bengals defense off guard, maybe tired, and just hopefully punch this in and get the offense back on the sideline and rest up a little bit.
Here's a snap. Going to hand it off to Drake. And not going to get anywhere before being caught by a group of Bengals.
He's actually going to lose about 2 yards. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. So again, we have Josh Drake in at running back.
And here's a snap. Quick throw over. That one's going to be caught for a touchdown by the Mustangs.
Beautiful.
Curtis Bernston on the reception, and that's what, his 3rd of the night?
That's his 3rd touchdown of the night, and he tight-roped that sideline there. Looked like he got both feet inbounds, but in high school all you need is one, so that'll be a touchdown for the Mustangs. As it looks like they'll come on and attempt this extra point to make it 27-14.
So I'm surprised they actually didn't go for the 2-point conversion. And here's a snap, hold, kick is good. Let's go take a look at the replay of that catch by Schuler. Gristle steps up to pass, just hits. He's going to hit Schuler in stride here. Brake just runs past that defender. Looks like he's got no one else to beat, but a nice second effort by that Fuquay defender, and that's going to be a tackle. Now we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers on the field for a sideline report.
Number Number 57, Terry Patterson, has been seen limping off the field with what appears to be an injury to his left ankle. However, he has been up and walking around and will probably return to the game. The score is now 27-14, Mustangs winning. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. And Terry Patterson, obviously a crucial lineman for the Mustangs. Having his absence will definitely be felt sometime in the near future. 27-14 is the score. It is a two-possession game.
Yeah, I just want to go back to that replay real quick. It looked like Brant had a really good pocket up there for from protection by the defense for the offensive line, so that was a good job by them.
And a muffed kickoff by Fuquay. He's going to tiptoe around some Mustang defenders and cut it up the sideline. And nice job making something out of nothing. That one looked like it might have been terrible field position, but he's going to run that one up to the 30-yard line. So not the worst, not the best field position for the Bengals. Obviously, they've
had better throughout the night, but still not terrible field position starting off at their own 29-yard line.
And even when they haven't, the 90-yard drive to start off the game, then the 80-yard drive towards the end of the first half. And there were 3 backs on that play. They're going to hand it off to the last one. That's going to be a gain of 3-4 yards. And it looks like there's another Mustang down on the field. Can't quite tell who. But we will go to a quick commercial break. We'll find out who that is. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
And we are back with the Sports Block. Injured player on the field is being walked off under his own power. Definitely seems to be an injury to his left leg. That looks like number 63, Zavon Powell.
Which I believe he came in to replace the injured Terry Patterson. And Terry is actually back out on the field now, so looks like the Mustangs defense is at full strength from where they started this game.
2nd and 6, 3 backs once again.
Fumble!
And there's a fumble on the field, almost scooped up by the Mustangs. I think the Mustangs did in fact fall on it after they were unable to pick it up. I think they do have it.
And we got the football.
And that is a huge momentum shifter in the Mustangs' favor.
But there's another flag on the field. Imagine that.
I believe this will be after the fact. It will probably be Mustangs' ball, but probably if it is against the Mustangs at all, maybe an unsportsmanlike conduct after the fact.
Not quite sure what's going on, but we'll check now with the ref.
Yes, and it is, in fact, unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's take a quick replay on that fumble by Fuquay. So here's the handoff. Just falls right out of his hands. Looks like the Mustangs are going to get it there. It's going to go off the screen, and there's just so many Mustangs that I'd find it hard to believe that it wasn't under their possession. So that will back the Mustangs up to Fuquay's 44-yard line. Still a fantastic field position. And I think the score here will I don't want to say end the game because Fuquay is pretty unpredictable, but it will definitely increase the odds of the Mustangs winning. That's a quick little dump off to
Terrence White, who is in it wide receiver right now.
He's usually a cornerback.
Yeah, which that's
it's a new one.
That's new, but Keon Smith comes on to replace him, number 1. Because that'll be 2nd and 11 after a loss of 1.
Here's a snap. Here's the handoff. Up the middle. Breaks the tackle, jumps over a defender. Josh Drake on the carry.
So we have another score update from number 12, Wake Forest, at number 5, Panther Creek. Wake Forest is up 21-14 in the third quarter, so we will keep you updated on that as another potential upset brews.
And here's another handoff up the middle. Going to have enough for the first down and a few yards after that. Just really running downhill tonight for the Mustangs.
Mustangs have done a really good job so far in this game of mixing up the plays, keeping the defense off balance, and that's led a lot to their success as they lead 27-14 with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
And that was Josh Drake on that first down. Here he is again. Just keeps going. Just it's elusive. And that's going to be enough for a first down, plus 3 yards after that.
Yeah, he's a very, very strong runner. Keeps his feet moving, and that's always one of those things that you're taught as a running back. Keep your feet moving. If your feet stop moving, you're done.
Ball spotted at the 19-yard line. Here's a snap by Gristle. Going to hand it off because why not? And that's going to be brought up to about the 9-yard line. I'm sorry, the 14-yard line.
8-yard line.
8-yard line.
There we go. We got it.
All right.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
That's my one mulligan of the night. And that will be a false start. Or
Offsides.
Offsides, I'm sorry, by the defense. That's my second mulligan.
So that'll be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Or 4-yard line, as it is half the distance to the goal.
Imagine the Mustangs would try and run it here again. Had a lot of success on the ground so far this drive.
Tried to get him to jump again, but to no avail.
And here's a snap. Sure enough, there's handoff to Drake. Will not be able to cross into the end zone, however. That's going to be a gain of a yard.
So the clock continues to roll as we are down to about 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter, with the Mustangs up 27-14, driving and trying to score another touchdown before the end of the third quarter.
I imagine they're going to try and throw it here. No, in fact, they're going to hand it off again.
And
was going to be a touchdown flag on the field.
False start.
And there it is again, penalties. So far, the Mustangs have been able to overcome them, but before you know it, they'll pile on.
So it will be 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. So they back up another 5 yards, and we'll replay 2nd down all over again.
Here's the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out. He's got an open Curtis Bernston, just got to throw it. Nope, going to dump it off to Jay Schuler. And that's going to be short of a touchdown.
Looks like he'll be at the 2 or 3 yard line.
You saw Bernston calling for the ball, had his hand in the air and everything, and
it was wide open.
Wide open. I don't know if it was Gristle was unable to turn his body to make the throw, but goes with a little bit safer option with Schuler, because by the time he saw Curtis, he was the defender had caught up to him. So 2 yards is all they need.
False start.
And that's going to be a false start on the Mustangs. Can only imagine what Castellano has to say from the sideline. Imagine it would not be school appropriate.
I would have to agree with you. Being on the sideline last year, yes.
So 3rd down, needs 7 yards for the touchdown. All out of first downs on this drive. Gristle looking to make something happen with his feet. Just going to lob it up. That's dangerous. And I think that was a Mustang receiver who actually swatted that one into the ground. Good heads-up play, rather to go in to kick the field goal than surrender a interception.
Yeah, penalties really killed us on that drive as we got, I believe, to the 2-yard line was the closest we got, and then we had a couple false start penalties, and that really hurt us throughout that drive, and I guess the Mustangs will have to settle for a field goal.
This will be Rubino on the kick. Usually Huey's on for these chip-in shots. Maybe that missed extra point attempt may have something to do with his absence. Almost blocked by Fuquay, but that's going to be up and good for the Mustangs. So that will be 30-14 the score. That is it's a 3 possession deficit that the Bengals will have to overcome. One minute and 47 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
So the Mustangs, after that long drive, will kick off to Fuquay.
I'm getting the onside kick vibe. I'm getting it.
To be honest, I was feeling that too.
I'm feeling it.
I mean,
right.
you're up 30-14. Your defense has done a very good job in the second half, and you've got a heck of a lot of trust and strength in them right now, despite Thomas Hartshorn's absence, which I really need to just congratulate the whole defense so far, because he's such a big part of that defense, and he's missing, and they've really filled that role.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spidey sense. It's an onside kick sense. It's tingling. And here is Rubino. And it looks like it will not be an onside kick. All right. That's going to be fielded at the 5-yard line. Got nowhere to go, but sheds a tackle, but he will be tackled at around the 10-yard line. Good job by Mustang special teams.
So we have a couple score updates from Leesville Road and Millbrook. Millbrook is up 17-7 in the 3rd quarter. So we will keep you updated on that game as more scores and other scores from around the Eastern Conference come in.
Got to give a shout out to Juan Marine for compiling all of these scores. You my man, Juan.
So 1st and 10 for the Bengals from their own 13-yard line.
And here's the snap, looking to throw to number 4. And that, what?
Wow.
That was going to be fumbled by the Fuquay receiver. And then it's caught by another Fuquay receiver, number 3, who's going to run it down the sideline for a touchdown. Are you kidding me?
That was a design play, I believe, because it looked like he was waiting right there for the little shovel pass. And Fuquay's got some weird plays in their playbook.
Wow, that was something, that's for sure. Nice, whether they meant to do it or not, that was a nice heads-up play by number 3, the receiver for Fuquay. That is Tyler Williams, who was in at quarterback earlier in the game.
Yeah, so far he's been a dual-threat athlete for the Bengals, and he's been a big part of this offense and their success so far in the game.
And indicates that they will be going for the 2-point conversion here. They would need to make 2 2-point conversions should they score again to make it a 2-possession game. And we're going to take a quick look at that last play on the replay. And here's the snap. He's going to throw it over. Looks like he loses the ball when he gets hit. Maybe not. Looks like he may have just passed it on purpose. Hard to tell. But there he goes, just running down the sideline.
Fuquay is just full of surprises these last 2 weeks. They've had more surprises than we've seen all year in these past 2 games.
There is a stoppage on the field. Fuquay did call a timeout. Mustangs huddling up, talk about how they will defend against this 2-point conversion. But we will go in and take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off. And he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
And we are back with the Sports Block. They are still going for that 2-point conversion. See what they decide to do here. I think they will probably run it. And they will, in fact, hand it off up the middle. And they stuffed him. Let's see. And they will, in fact, keep him from getting.
Oh, but there's a flag thrown on the play.
That looked like it came in very late.
Maybe this one might be on Fuquay this time.
We will wait and see.
But we have been wrong in the past, and so. And they're picking up the flag, so there will be no flag on the play.
Yeah, let's get a replay of that shovel whatever. Once again, this one's from a different angle. Just a second. And I think he definitely did do that on purpose after looking at it from that angle. It looked like he made eye contact with number 3 as if he definitely was going for the shovel pass and kind of had his hands going in that direction before he lost control of the ball. So probably by design.
So we have another score update between number 6 ranked Garner and number 11 ranked Holly Springs. Garner is up 49-14 in the third quarter, so they are definitely running away with this game, as we will continue to keep you updated on all the scores around the Eastern bracket.
And nope, they will not attempt the onside kick here. Or maybe they will. I thought he yeah, they are going for the onside kick here. Or so their field position suggests.
No, doesn't look like. Nope, they're not going for it, because when they go for the onside kick, they set the tee different. They set the ball up different. So that's one thing to notice. If you're on the front line, you got to be looking for that stuff, because that's a really telltale sign of what they're going to do.
It's more of a squib kick. Going to be caught and downed at the 35-yard line. I can see. I think that was a good play call, actually. Change up looks and really get in the face of that special teams receiver. Maybe pressure him to drop the ball, muffle it. Luckily for the Mustangs, he did not. But that looked like a well-designed play on special teams. But yeah, good analysis of that football setup. That's something I never would have looked for. I guess that's why we keep you around. And here's a snap, handoff up the middle. Finds a hole, but going to be quickly filled. Gain of about 4 yards.
So it'll be a gain of 5 yards.
Now less than 1 minute here in the third quarter. Mustangs lead by 10.
Little confusion on the sidelines, looks like. Getting the play call in a little bit slower than usual.
Here's a snap, handoff, up the middle. Going to pile forward about half a yard short of a first. Now 30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Looks like they will maybe get 1 or 2 plays off in this. Ooh, offsides.
And that Fuquay defender didn't put much force into that, but the offensive line is kind of told to sell it a little bit, even if it's not close.
It looked like a pretty good hard hit.
I don't know about that.
From up here, it looked like it, but we'd have to be out there to really tell. But nevertheless, it's a first down, like you said, and it looks like we'll go into the fourth quarter with the Mustangs on the 48-yard line, 1st and 10.
And with that end of the third quarter, we're going to go down to Sydney Sozio for a sideline report.
The Mustangs start off the second half strong with a 2-touchdown lead. They recover a fumble later on and run it in for a field goal. Sadly, they're not allowed to hold, or they can't hold the Bengals back, and the Bengals run it in for a touchdown, but don't get the 2-point conversion. The Mustangs now lead 30-20. I'm Sydney Sozio. Now back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. Stick around. You're watching the Sports Blog. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. And we are back with the Sports Block. Ball on the 48-yard line for the Mustangs. 1st and 10 is the call. Just waiting to get the play underway here, trying to make sure everybody's on the same page.
So we have another score update from number 4 Pinecrest and number 13 Laney. Pinecrest is still up 13-7, and Jack Britt is still up 28-21 on number 14 Sanderson. And actually Southview, the number 10 seed, is up 20-3 on Durham Riverside, the 7th seed. In the fourth quarter, they're up 20-3.
Here's a snap to Gristle, looking to throw over the hands of Schuler. That was a high throw. It wasn't even a bad throw, but it's probably the worst throw I've seen Gristle thrown all night, because he's just been playing beautiful.
Yeah, that one, like you said, was just a little bit out of Jay's reach. Jay needed a little bit of a step ladder there to get to that one, but otherwise they are still moving the ball fairly well into this fourth quarter.
And you know, Tyler, I think we may need a thesaurus to start finding different adjectives to describe these balls thrown by Gristle. That one's going to be run up the middle, gain of about 4 yards.
Yeah, we've really used the beautiful. I think beautiful. We need to retire beautiful.
Yeah,
it's been used, gosh, countless times.
If you have better adjectives than beautiful, tweet them into the Sports Block.
As we need them very bad.
I am an AP English, mind you.
Both of us at that.
Miss Castillo is ashamed of both of us right now.
But she is enjoying her Disney trip.
Disney, yeah.
So, big shout out to Miss Castillo. Great time. We miss you back here at the creek.
And that one's going to be caught by Schuler for the first down. I wish I knew how many receiving yards he has on the day. Him and Bernson both having monster games.
But there's some laundry on the far side of the field. It'll be false start.
So that will back the Mustangs up to the 50-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and 12. Nothing that we haven't seen the Mustangs convert before.
Unfortunately, the Mustangs are very familiar with this 3rd and long territory.
And here's the snap. Looking to throw over the sideline. That's Schuler, well out of bounds, however. May have had his foot on the ground, as he seems to argue. Castellano seems to agree with Schuler there. Crowd seems to agree with Castellano.
Looks like Jay Schuler's pointing at his footprint, which is a very good determination of whether he was in or out, but I don't believe they are buying it. So that'll bring up 4th and 12 for the Mustangs.
Again, these refs in high school don't have instant replay, so that may have been one that would have potentially been challenged if this were the NFL. And wow, a great punt by
Beautiful
Rubino.
punt.
And that one has the potential to be down inside the 5-yard line, and it will, in fact, be down at the 4-yard line, and that is a spectacular punt by Rubino. The second he left his foot, you could tell that was a good one.
Absolutely, and he just did a really good job. He got that one high enough, and so whereas defense could get down there and set up behind the ball so it would not bounce into the end zone. Great job by the punt team there.
And Tyler, why don't we look over to a replay of Schuler on the sideline on that catch. We'll see if he did, in fact, get his foot down. Definitely. You can even see the footprint in the replay after he made the catch. I think that was definitely a first down.
And it looks like we have some other
shenanigans.
There you go. That's a word for it. Out on the field, looks like there was a false start on the punt. So there will be a re-kick for the Mustangs from their own 40-yard line.
Rubino has the leg to put this in the exact same spot he did last time, so we'll see if he's able to. Fuquay getting awfully close to blocking that punt. That one's going to be bounced,
there we go.
And that is a beautiful Mustang bounce. Won't be inside the 5-yard line. Will be down at around the 14-yard line, and that is still not the best field position for Fuquay. And I think if Fuquay's been any indication of what this drive will be, I don't think they're going to have a hard time. In the first half they were running all over the Mustangs, and so far this half they haven't been able to do quite the same thing.
Yeah, since halftime adjustments have been a big key for the Mustangs. They've done a really good job coming out in the second half and really working and really figuring out that Bengals offense and stopping that option.
And in case there was any doubt, we're going to take a look at Schuler's catch one more time. After this play. Quarterback looking to throw. That's a dropped interception by the Mustangs. Wasted opportunity. All right, here's the replay. And I think it's that back foot that was in bounds. Definitely hard to tell kind of from that angle, but like I said, that footprint is that indication. And, my initial reaction was that that was out of bounds, and I think that was because his back foot was the one that was in bounds.
So after the dropped interception, that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Bengals from their own 14-yard line.
Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle, and he's going to be tackled. That was a delay of game by Fuquay. That play clock was wound down to 0, and Mustangs upset that was not called. However, that was a good stop on defense.
So we have another score update. Southview, the 10th-ranked team in the East, is up 20-17 on Durham Riverside in the 4th quarter. And also, Jack Britt and Sanderson. Jack Britt is up 28-21. And Panther Creek and Wake Forest. Wake Forest is actually up 28-14 on Panther Creek.
And here's a quarterback rolling out to pass. He needs to get rid of it. This is a dangerous situation for Fuquay, and he's going to have to take the sack here. Just barely gets, actually not even close to the line of scrimmage. So a good job by the Mustangs of shutting down the Bengals here, deep in their own territory.
Looks like there's an injured Bengal around the 8-yard line.
And with that injured Bengal, we're going to take a quick timeout. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
one block,
Oh!
and he shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block,
Oh!
and he shrugs them off. And we are back with the Sports Block. Injured Bengal able to walk off the field under his own power. 9 minutes and 34 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Fuquay trails by 10. And Tyler, this is a game that the Mustangs had a 3-possession lead on Fuquay, but after that little shovel pass last drive for Fuquay, this game really seems within reach for them.
Looks like the Mustangs are bringing the whole house on this. Hopefully get the block punt.
That would be huge for the Mustangs. Low snap, and they might just have it. And that's an interception.
Yes! Knock it down, though.
That is a beautiful play. I think that was really that the catalyst of that was the low snap that made the punter unable to even punt the ball. Good heads-up play by him of just throwing it up in the air. Maybe a Bengal will come down with it, but the Mustangs do, in fact, come down with it. And that could have been a lot worse as they could have surrendered to safety there.
Yeah, great stop by the defense. Just that intercepting that pass actually lost them 10 yards, so knocking that ball down really, well, speaking of knocking people down, there goes somebody. So they'll gain 5 of those 10 yards back that they lost. So that'll be 1st and 5 for the Mustangs from the 14-yard line. And just a quick score update. Number 16th ranked Greenhope is up 10-7 on number 1 Wakefield.
Do you know what quarter that is in?
I have no idea. We will go to Juan Marine to figure out what quarter that game is in, and we will get back to you because that is a huge, huge upset brewing.
That was too high for Keon Smith, that last pass. I gotta tell you, Tyler, should the Mustangs come away with this win, I'm really looking forward to Cookout tonight.
Absolutely. Cookout will be a hopping place tonight.
And here's a handoff, or a run up the middle, I should say,
to Josh Drake, who will be stopped at about the 13-yard line. And that'll be 3rd and 4 or 5.
Something in that vicinity.
Something in there. Yeah, the official call was 3rd and 5.
Obvious passing situation. Here's a snap. Fake the jet sweep. Quick throw over to Schuler. Going to make a few
Curtis
cuts.
Burston in for the touchdown. Curtis Burston, 4th touchdown of the day.
Wow. I called out Jay Schuler. You think those two would be different enough to differentiate them, but again, 4th touchdown for Curtis Bernston there. That is, wow, that's just a record day of some sort. I'd find a record for that he broke. I'm sure he's broken at least one tonight, but a phenomenal performance between him and Gristle. And here's Rubino on for the extra point. Up and good. So Mustangs now lead by 17. We're going to go down to Madison Jaggers for a sideline report.
Defense was able to hold Fuquay and prevent them from scoring any more touchdowns. King Kiaku got an interception, and then Curtis Burston was able to run it in for another touchdown. The score is now 37-20, Mustangs on top. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. And here's a replay of that touchdown. Here's the throw over to Bernston. And you see he's got about 5 yards and about 3 or 4 defenders in those 5 yards. And he just runs through all of them for the touchdown.
So earlier, just a few minutes ago, I said that number 16th ranked Green Hope was up on number 1 Wakefield 10-7, and we have confirmed that score, so that is not a typo. It is early in the fourth quarter, so we will continue to most definitely keep you updated on that, as that has a potential huge impact in these East rankings and throughout the bracket.
And here comes the kick from Rubino. Going to just drive this one way into the end zone. Almost took a kind of a bounce that would have kept it at the 1 yard line. That would have been difficult, I guess you would call that one, to obtain. Unless Bengals will have their ball at their 20-yard line.
There is 8 minutes and 31 seconds left in this game, but still there's still a lot of ball game left, a lot of time. So who knows what could happen? But with the way the defense has been playing, they've been coming out really strong and really forcing these Bengals to work really hard.
And they have 8 minutes and 31 seconds. They're going to need to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal if they want to tie the Mustangs. That's provided they don't go for any 2-point conversions. And here comes a big run from the Bengals. That one's going to be a gain of about 17 yards. That's the first big run we've seen from the Bengals all of this second half.
Yeah, again, they went to that option, and that one just that was just good play call by the Bengals, and just executed it very, very well, and got about 20 yards or 17 yards.
And here's a snap. Fumble on the play, going to be jumped on by the quarterback. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10, I believe.
So the clock continues to run as the Bengals have a 2nd and 9 from their 38-yard line.
Here's a snap. Looking to throw here. No pressure. Going to just lob this one up the sideline. That definitely looked like offensive pass interference to me, but that one's going to go out of bounds, 3rd and 10.
Third down.
And although there are 7 minutes and 28 seconds left here, I think this is probably the 3rd down that they will need to convert. They will need to score on this drive if they want any hope of winning this game.
Yeah.
And here's a snap, looking to throw. And just going to throw this one way out of bounds. That's going to bring up 4th and 9.
Looks like the Bengals seem they're going to have to go for it, looks like here, but
maybe they will bring out the punt unit here.
wow. But wait, looks like there's a little bit different punter. Who knows?
Can you catch his number? I can't quite
It looks
see
like
from-
number 4, which I believe is Tyler McBride. But still you need to be wary of that fake punt. And it's a
there
fake.
It is. He's looking to throw. He's going to be
Yes!
caught by number 3, but that's going to be well short of anything resembling a first down.
And that was number 37, King Kiaku, on the tackle for the Mustangs. As that'll be a turnover on downs, and the Mustangs will take over at the Bengals' 35-yard line.
Score here, I think, will put the game well out of reach for the Bengals. Touchdown here, I should say.
That was great recognition by the Mustangs punt defense to recognize that fake punt and pick up those people going out on the pass. Josh Drake on the carry. Gain of about 7 or 8. So that'll bring up 2nd and 3 for the Mustangs as the clock winds.
They are on the Fuquay 29-yard line. Ooh, voice crack.
Really, really smooth there, Will.
I'm going to have to oh, man.
Anyway, 2nd and 3.
Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Hits a brick wall. makes a cut. Not going to be able to gain more than maybe a yard.
Tackle by Buckhorn brings up third down.
Flag on the field. See what it's for.
Looks like unsportsmanlike conduct again.
And it will, in fact, be against Middle Creek.
So there was another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called.
And, you got that rivalry between the two teams. It's not completely unheard of to have some, extracurriculars. I think maybe the refs should let a few things slide. I think that's one of them.
So we have another score update from number 8, Millbrook, and number 9, Leesville Road. Millbrook is up 17-14, and Garner is running away with a 56-14 lead in the fourth quarter over number 11, Holly Springs.
I'll tell you what, I wish we were like ESPN right now so I could go over and watch that Wakefield Green Hope game. And some chaos on the field, something involving the play clock. Castellano pointing at us up here in the booth. It wasn't me, I promise. And just going to rewind the play clock 5 seconds to 6:22. 5 yards, 5 seconds is not that big of a deal, apparently.
It is the difference between a touchdown and a loss. So a big difference.
Here's a snap by Gristle. Looking to throw. That's a dangerous pass. That one is not intercepted. That's going to take a skip, bounce into the arms of the defender.
Intercepted.
Oh, what? They called that one an interception? That definitely hit the ground first.
Anyway, the Bengals will take over at their 31-yard line with 5 minutes and 57 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter, with the Mustangs still leading 37-20.
Definitely not a good throw by Gristle, but
looked like some miscommunication between Gristle and Burst in there. That's just something that's going to have to be worked out on the sidelines. Not really coaching or anything. That's just some miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver.
Yeah, and after this play, we will take a replay. Take a look at that replay, see if it did in fact hit the ground. Here's a snap, run up the middle, going nowhere. Oh, and they're going to flip it. That's would have been a dangerous play if the Mustangs were not more alert. All right, let's take a look at that replay. Not quite able to tell based off that.
Looks like there's an injury for the Bengals.
And we will take an injury timeout, so stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block. And we're back with the Sports Block. Tyler, give us some score updates around the bracket.
Well, again, number 16 Green Hope is still up on number 1 Wakefield. Now the score is 13-7. And we have another score update for the Panther Creek Wake Forest game. Wake Forest is up 35-14 in the fourth quarter over number 5 Panther Creek. So there is potentially 2 upsets, and one of them could be a huge, huge game changer in the brackets.
And that one's going to be run for the it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 or 4 yards. And yeah, I'm genuinely surprised that Green Hope's been able to, even if they don't come away with the game, I think the fact that they're fighting this hard is awesome.
And absolutely, Wakefield, if you recall, was I believe it was our second loss of the season, our second loss of the season, and Mustangs just really didn't show up and play Mustangs football. So with Green Hope potentially beating them could really make these brackets, could potentially mess up some of the brackets.
Yeah, and I'm looking through the bracket right now, and I think the most difficult teams that the Mustangs would have to potentially play would be number 1, Wakefield, number 5, Panther Creek. We did beat them earlier in the year. It was a close game, however. Number 3, Jack Britt. They are just we always run into them in the playoffs, it seems, and they've beaten us most of the time.
Option.
Number 6, Garner. They were our first loss of the season, and they are just a powerhouse in themselves. So those are my feared teams. Everyone else, I think Mustangs will have no problem with, but these teams are ones that I think we will have trouble with.
The troubling thing is, though, Will, with your predictions, like with those top 2 teams that we would face that could potentially give us trouble, both of those are losing right now.
Exactly.
So who knows? Like you said earlier in the broadcast, high school football has some crazy moments, and who knows what can happen.
Definitely not. And that run's going to be about a yard short of a first down. And 3 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. This is just about not even close to enough time to score 3 times consecutively against this Mustangs defense. And they're taking their sweet time as well.
Even though they are down 17 points, which I believe right now they're playing for heart, because they need a miracle right now to be able to score and win this game.
And here's a pitch to the outside. Going to break a ton of Mustang tackles before finally being absolutely decked for a loss of about 7 yards. Depending if they give them forward progress or not, which I think they did.
So they are most definitely in 4th down territory right now.
4th and 6. They'll need to convert here.
We do have another score update from the Wakefield-Garner game. Wakefield is now up 14-13 in the 4th quarter. So we will continue to keep you updated on that score. That's, again, Wakefield up 14-13 on Green Hope.
And 2 teams talking about what they're going to do for this 4th down. There is Ryan Fuller running with the giant Middle Creek flag. Gets the crowd pumped up, I guess. And here's the wave. No, it's the flag again.
And the wave.
And the wave. Why not?
Why not include the flag with the wave?
All the way to the end of the bleachers.
And here they come
on
back.
His way back.
For the second time.
And Ryan Fuller's out of the gate. He's going to be passed by 17 fans.
That was my horse racing voice.
Uh-oh.
Get it because we're Mustangs.
Well, uh-oh. He's going again. 3rd time. No. Ran out of gas.
Where's the stamina?
Anyway.
4th and 6.
Fuquay will take over at their 45-yard line, 4th and 6.
And here's going to be a pitch. The fate of Fuquay depends on it. And he's going to break a tackle, but here comes more Mustangs. He only stiff arm for so long, and he's going to be tackled in.
Another flag. There it goes.
This one's going to be against Fuquay for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I don't know.
For a second there, after that flag was being run up and down the bleachers, I almost forgot why we were here,
There's another penalty. Imagine that.
At this point, I don't think it matters one way or another, but I think to the players it is against. It's going to matter to him when he's running laps after this game.
So regardless of the penalty, the Mustangs will take over, and they will have possession with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game, and it looks like that will do it for us here at Mustang Stadium.
Well, there are still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the game, so it's not quite over, though it is pretty much over. Let's why don't we take we might be here a little bit longer. I don't know if it's quite late enough to give the post-game recap, but I mean, obviously, excuse me, the Fuquay came out strong. They went into the half tied with the Mustangs at 14. That was largely due to their running game, just completely dominating the Mustangs defense. Of course, the Mustangs points came from beautiful passes by Brant Gristle to the hands of Curtis Bernston. He's going to finish the night with 4 touchdowns in total. Then the second half comes around. Fuquay scores 1 touchdown. That one was kind of off that shovel pass that I'll go ahead and say they got a little bit lucky with, I think. And then Mustangs come out here and just dominate on defense and on offense. I mean, Gristle was on point tonight, like on point. No better way to describe it. He's in the zone. If he's able to play like this in every playoff game that we have, I think the Mustangs are going to make a pretty deep push into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Earlier in the game, it was a little bit scary up here in the press box, and I'm sure for the fans, with the Bengals running all over our defense, especially with that option play, and they were really giving the defense a hard time. But coming out in the second half, they really made those adjustments, and they've held them to very, very few yards on the ground, and just in general, they've held them to very few yards.
And I have to wonder about the quarterback situation for Fuquay as well. Only 2 quarterbacks this game, but as we mentioned, there's a different starting quarterback last week, and then this week we saw 2 different quarterbacks, and it wasn't because the first quarterback got injured. I don't understand keep putting people in and out at different positions.
Just a little change up in the pace, I guess.
And here's going to be a handoff up the middle, not going very far. There's now 1 minute left here in this ball game at Mustang Stadium. Seemed like we were able to successfully hold off the rain. That is a huge plus. I thought that was going to come in at some point, but luckily, I think for all the fans here, that did not happen.
And if you can hear, the Creek Crazies are chanting just like last week. So,
and we're going to go over to Tyler Scholler here in a few seconds to talk to us about all the finals around the bracket.
So, the Wake Forest and Panther Creek game, we have a final score for them. Number 5, Panther Creek falls to number 12, Wake Forest, 35-14. So, Will, there goes one of your top 2 tough games that could possibly be handed to us. We have number 13, Laney, losing to number 4, Pinecrest, 13-7. And we do have a final in the Southview Durham Riverside game. Number 10, Southview defeats number 7, Durham Riverside, 20-17. So those are our finals. So with 20 seconds left, the Mustangs will punt the ball to the Bengals.
And that is some good news for the Mustangs, as they will play number 10 Southview here at home next Friday. Of course, that is being one of the benefits of being the number 2 seed in the bracket. Most of these games, unless we play Wakefield in the final game of the bracket, should we make it that far, everything we will play will be at home, which means that the sports block will be there to cover it. Another beautiful punt by Rubino. And the clock will keep running. That one's going to be blown dead by the refs, I guess.
And that ball will be spotted at the 10-yard line with 8.5 seconds left in. I believe now we can say the game is over.
The game is pretty much over at this point, unless some act of God occurs. And I guess you really don't have a say in that one. But it's going to disappoint me going into the ending this broadcast not knowing the end of the Wakefield Greenhope game. I really want Greenhope to pull out with this one.
Yeah, you'll just have to just look at the scores this tonight on football Friday with Tom Suter, and hopefully find out who won that game, because nevertheless, Green Hope has played a terrific game. Really, if they don't pull it out, they really gave them a scare.
Definitely, and of course, your Mustangs have played a very terrific game as they take a knee, and they're going to let that clock run to 0, and that is the first win of the playoffs for the Mustangs. They take this one 37-20 over conference rivals Fuquay-Varina. We pretty much went over everything that went through this game. I mean, really it came down to the run offense and really lack of a passing offense for Fuquay. So one block. Every matchup between any of the teams in this bracket is going to be a good one. So be sure to come out, maybe watch the sports block, do whatever you got to do, but we'll be here to cover it. So for Tyler Scholler, I'm Will Giddis, and this is going to be it for us at the sports block this week. You guys have a good night. You were watching the sports block.